Canada has a unique history, and there's lots to know. But my place in Canadian history starts in India. My father's side was planning to move to Canada due to a plethora of reasons. However, it starts with the events that took place in India that dictated the decision to start over again. In 1984, in the first week of June, there were attacks to the Golden Temple in Amritsar, Punjab. These attacks were coordinated by the Indian Army as well as the Punjab Police, known as Operation Blue Star. These were strong units, as it is. Throw in the fact that there were only 200 Sikh males defending against the 15,000 troops, and you already know who won. That was a scary occurrence that led to Sikh people across Punjab doubting their safety in the country they knew as home. There was also another event that took place that year that was a frightening scene. The attack on the Golden Temple was ordered by India's Prime Minister at the time, Indira Gandhi. This led to her assassination on October 31st of that same year. The assassination was frightening, but not the primary push factor of the event. That was that the murderers were two Sikh males. This was a push factor because Sikh people felt like they were being discriminated against due to the attacks on the Golden Temple. They felt like India's government no longer wanted them around. The third huge push factor in India was that life was tough, and the rewards were not as great as the hard work put in suggested it would be. The food was always there via farms and markets, but water, air, and clean learning environments, as well as entertainment environments, were not available in suburbs, towns, and outskirts. However, there was a solution, but it was costly, and the way of life was decades in the future compared to that of what my dad's side was accustomed to. That solution was to move to Canada, and everyone was aboard the bandwagon. Clean, healthy environment with great people and a great economy, as well as great schools for the next generation of children that were to be born in the family. Everything was good. The two problems were the language, which they picked up in no time, and the cold weather that came during the winter, but India's summers were too hot anyways. The biggest pull factor was not any of that, however. It was that the Prime Minister at the time was Pierre Trudeau, who many saw as the greatest PM of all time. People saw him as the greatest PM of all time due to his ability to negotiate with people of different beliefs and be fair to all cultures and religions while still keeping their rights and freedoms. At the time, my family was looking for this, and Canada provided it. A stable country without a threat to their people was what my family required, and they got that and more. What made Canada so stable, you might ask? Well, Canada had a great trade economy, whether it's through fur trade, lumber, or the massive fishing industry. Canada also had and has great areas for digging natural resources, which are sold off to bring in large gross income every year. Toronto had a great economy too, and businesses were always easy to open. So in 1991, they packed their bags, sold their belongings, and came to the unknown. My dad and his two brothers opened a flooring business in 1994 and ran it as a family. My father got married in 1998 to a beautiful young woman, and I was born at the turn of the century. I also got a younger brother 3 years later in 2003. Just before that, he opened his own flooring business to separate from his brothers because he had a family to support and because they did not make enough money between the three of them to split between three families. My mom ditched her part-time jobs to work at their store. Fast forward 13 years, and here I am in this room doing what I do only because of the courage of my grandparents, my father, and his siblings 25 years ago. If they hadn't made these sacrifices, I may never have been born, or I would have been born in a place where the environment was not healthy and the education system had many flaws. Overall, this decision has led to health, prosperity, and a life that we would never give up for anything.